right. Now we have our first phrase today is break something to someone. That means to give someone bad news. Have you ever heard that before, Mohammed? To break something to someone.
Like coronavirus break.
Oh, that's an outbreak. That's an outbreak. That's when something starts small and then it explodes into something very big. But to break some information means to give someone the information. It's usually something bad. Have you ever seen the phrase "breaking news"? That's pretty common, actually.
Yes.
Yeah, that means it's news. It's news that you're hearing for the first time. It's very fresh news when you see that word "breaking news." But to break, let's do it like this. I'll underline this, and I'll make this green just so you can see it in an example. Pachu, have you seen that word before? To break something to someone. Have you seen that?
No, sir.
Okay. So look, we have everything we need here. Uh, we've got the verb to break, and then we have the news. It's usually news that you're breaking to someone, and then we have a person, her. Right. So we have the whole formula. This means to give bad news. To give bad news.
Mm,
Pachu, can you read the phrase, the sentence? What does it say?
okay. I had to break the news to her that the party was cancelled.
Okay, what does that mean? How do you understand that sentence? What does break the news to her mean?
Yes. So I gave the news at first time
Mm-hmm.
that the party was cancelled.
Is it good news or bad news?
No, it's not good news.
That's right. It's usually bad news when you use that phrase, break the news. Now, is it cancelled or canceled?
Cancelled.
That's better. Yeah, that's a better way of saying it. Mohammed, if I say the first three words, try to or why don't you say the first three words? How would you say the first three words of that sentence? You decide which sounds should be big and which sounds should be small in the first three words of the sentence. Can you do that?
I had a.
Okay, but now you do have to, in this case, you do have to say the T. So it's head ta, head ta. You have to say the T.
I had a.
Yeah, like that. So, which sound is big? You're saying three words, but I think there's only one big word in there, one long word. Which word is it?
Had.
I had to. I had to.
I had to.
That's right. And that's how everybody would say it. So we have small, big, small. I had to. I had to. Can you say that again?
I had to.
Okay. Pachu, can you say that phrase?
I had to.
I
I
had
had to.
I had to. You hear the short, long, short. That's the rhythm we have to find.
Yes.
Say it again.
I had to. I had to.
Okay. How will you say the next three words?
Yeah. Break the news.
Okay.
Break the news.
Okay. What is the pattern? Is it short, long, short, long? What do you think?
Yeah, low high, low high,
Oh no,
low high, low high.
we're not doing the music part yet. Right now, we're just doing the rhythm. Okay, we'll do the music part next. Okay, but right now, I just want to know long or short.
Yeah, it's short. It's
Uh,
too short.
w- uh,
Long.
well, we have the phrase "I had to," but what about break the news? What do you think about that?
Okay, break is long
Okay, break is long.
and the is short.
Okay, How about news? Is that long or short?
Yeah, his news is long.
Okay. So again, we have that perfect rhythm happening here. I had to break the news.
I had to break the news.
You hear that? It's short, long, short, long, short, long.
Yes.
Say it again.
I had to break the news.
Mohammed, can you say all of those words together?
I had to break the news
I had to break the news. Okay. What are the next two words, Mohammed?
to her,
Okay. Actually, so how do you think that would sound in the middle of a phrase, to her?
to her,
Well, it could be two different ways. I think it could be tour, 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 like that.
To,
Tour, tour. Or I think I might make it a little bit bigger. I think I might say tour, tour, tour.
to her,
Uh huh. Would you classify that as a big sound or a little sound, tour?
uh, to her, long,
It is long, but I guess it's short because it's two words compressed together. So let's consider it small, even though I agree with you. Because I think we're going to say all four of these words to her, that, the, like one word, one little word. To her, that, the, to her, that, the,
to her that the,
to her, that, the.
to her that the
What is the next word?
party,
Okay. What are the sounds in that word?
party, a
Okay. So A is big. Is that what you're telling me? A is big?
party, I think party is big,
The
party,
par part is big. And uh, D is pretty small. Party, party.
party,
You hear that? How one part is big and one part is small.
yes,
Okay, so this four these four words together, they're going to become very small because we want to keep the rhythm of big, small, big, small, big, small. So this is, I had to break the news to her that the party.
I had to break the news to her that the party,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so this becomes a very small. It becomes like one little word. I had to break the news to her that the party.
I had to break the news to her that the party,
Pachu, can you say that phrase? How will you say that?
so I had to break the news to her that the party
Okay. Now, should you say news or just news?
is a news.
Yeah, just do it like that. Don't add any music to it yet. We'll talk about the music in a minute. I had to break the news to her that the party,
I had to break the news to the party.
news to her that
News to her there
the
that the
to her that the.
to her there
Mhm. I
to
had
her
to break.
the
I had to break the news to her that the party.
I had to break the news to her that the
Okay.
party
What do you think about the next word was? Do you think that should be a big sound or a little sound?
has a little sound.
Okay, so we'll say de was. So we have de was, party was.
Divas party was.
Hmm. I had to break the news to her that the party was.
I had to break the news to her that the party was
Hmm. And then what is the final word in that phrase?
is a cancelled. Is a
Are there
cancelled.
are there any big sounds in that word?
Yes, it's a can.
Can, can. Okay. Party was canceled.
the party was cancelled.
I had to break the news to her that the party was canceled.
I had to break the news to her that the party was cancelled.
Now, should it be news or just news?
The news.
Yeah, so that's a different. When you're using your language, you're singing a different song. But it would be better
Yes.
to try to sing the English song. But we'll talk about that in a minute. Mohammed,
And
go ahead. What?
and before this class or joining to you, I always used to read stressing equal stress on each words. So it has been become a habit for a long time.
Oh yeah.
So now I realize that yeah, that was the incorrect way of reading books.
Mhm.
Now I used to read book like high low tone. So
Yeah.
the
Well,
this is the English.
it's
Yeah.
but it's three dimensional, so it's not just high low, but it's also long short. So it goes this way, and it also goes this
Yes.
way. So it's three-dimensional language. But this will, if you master it, this will really help you with your accent.
Yes.
Mohammed, how will you say that whole sentence?
I had to break the news to her that the party was cancelled.
I had to break the news to her that the party was canceled. Try it again.
I had to break the news to her that the party was cancelled.
Okay. How many phrases do you think we could divide this sentence into?
Two.
Two? Okay, what are the two phrases?
After the news.
Okay. Well, you know what? What is the function of the word that?
Yes.
What is the
That,
yeah, what purpose does that word serve in this sentence?
like, um, I don't know.
Well, it's like connecting two ideas. So it's a word, that word that connects two things together. So I think it would be more logical if we separated the phrases at the word that.
Yes. Yes.
Does that make sense to you? Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so that's a word that connects two phrases. Now, in the first phrase, is this a serious idea or is this a happy, friendly idea?
Serious idea.
It's a serious idea. Which word do you think is the most important word in that phrase?
News.
News? Okay. So because it's serious, how should we say it? Should we say it news or should we say news?
News.
Okay. Is that blue or red?
Blue.
Okay. How should we start the sentence? Should we start it low? I had to. Or
Uh,
should we start it high? I had to.
Hi.
High. Okay. So we've got to go from I had to news tour. So I had to break the news tour. We're going to start high and go down low. I had to break the news tour.
I had to break the news to her.
Okay. Can you say that, Pachu? I had to break the news to her.
I had to break the news to her.
Okay. Now, Pachu, the second phrase, that the party was canceled. Is this a serious sounding phrase or is this a friendly sounding phrase to you? How do you want to sound when you say this?
Yes, this serious.
Okay. So, how should we say that final word?
So is a falling tone cancelled.
Okay. But it sounds like to me you're moving up and down when you say canceled. So Try to keep it low. Cancelled.
Cancelled.
You hear the difference?
Cancel. Yes.
Okay.
Cancelled.
Cancelled. Cancelled. But how should we start the phrase? Should we start it high or low?
It's a high.
Okay. All right. Whoops. We'll make that red. Okay. That the
Yes.
party was cancelled.
That the party was cancelled.
I had to break the
Cancelled.
news to her that the party was cancelled.
I had to break the news to her that the party was cancelled. Cancelled.
Wait, cancelled or cancelled? Which one?
Is it cancelled?
Yeah, yeah. I guess that your language is more musical. You like to put more notes in your words. Here, let's just say
Yeah.
cancelled.
Someone also said to me that the Nepali uh, language has many sounds like English. So there is less accent in my language. So do you think I have more accent or my mother tongue influence in English?
Well, if I didn't know that you were Nepali, I would think that you were Indian because your accent to me sounds just like an Indian accent. I can't tell the
Yeah.
difference between
Yes.
like a Hindi accent and a Nepali accent. So I imagine
Yes.
those
Yes.
languages must be very, very similar.
They have the
Okay.
same language.
Is it the same language, Pachu? Is it exactly the same? Hindi and Nepali?
Yes.
Oh, it is? Well, then there you
Yes.
go.
Yes. Same.
So
Same.
that's the reason. So yeah, it sounds very typically Indian, but I think it's different. That it's much different from the way that you would say it in English.
Yes.
Okay, can you say the sentence one more time? I had to break the news to her that the party was canceled.
I had to break the news to her that the party was cancelled. Cancelled.
Muhammad, Muhammad, can you say the whole phrase, the whole sentence?
I had, I had to break the news to her that the party was cancelled.
I had to break the news to her that the party was canceled.
I had to break the news to her that the party was cancelled.
Okay, now what do you think sounds better, zetsa or detta?
That
Try again. I had to break the news to her that the party was canceled.
I had to break the news. I had to break the news to her that the party was cancelled.
What do you think sounds better, Barty or party?
Party,
Oh, yeah, so I have to hear that air coming out of your mouth. Party, party.
party,
That the party.
that the party.
That's good. That's pretty clear. I had to break the news to her that the party was canceled.
I had to break the news to her that the party was cancelled.
Mohammed, can you make a what kind of news you break to her question? That might be a hard question to ask. Can you try? What kind of news you break to her?
What the news
hmm
you have?
What?
What did the news?
Let's see. Let's
What
start.
did?
Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
What kind of news you have to break to her?
Let's start like this. Let's start with a sentence. You broke the news to her. Can you repeat that? You broke the news to her.
You broke the news to her.
The news or the news?
The news.
The news. Okay. Can you make a yes no question? How would you ask a yes no question with you broke the news to her?
Did you break the news to her?
The news or the news?
The news.
Say again.
Did you break? Did you break the news to her?
The news or the
Uh,
news?
did you? Uh, Did you break the news to her?
Oh, that was good. Okay. Did you break the news to her? See, now you have your question form. Did you break the news to her? Now you can say, what kind of news
What kind of news
did.
did you did you break to her?
That's right. That's say it again.
What kind of news did you break to her?
Perfect. Now, what do you think is the most important word in that question?
What
Okay, so how should you say it if it's so important?
what kind
What kind? What kinda?
what
What what kinda? What kinda?
what kind of news you break to her?
Oh, you have to use the question form.
What 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 kind of news did you break to her?
Perfect. And you can, instead of saying to her, you can say tour, tour, tour.
Sure.
What kind of news did you break to her?
What kind of did you break to her?
Mm-hmm. Pachu, can you say that question? Pachu, are you there?
Yes, yes, sir.
Can you say that question? What kind of news did you break to her?
What kind of news did you break to her?
Okay. And can you tell me the answer? I had to break the news to her that the party was canceled.
I had to break the news to her that the party was cancelled.
Okay.
Cancelled
Now, is it news and canceled, or is it news and canceled? Which one is better?
is is a news and cancelled. Cancelled
Canceled. Is it canceled or canceled?
is a cancelled.
Right.
Cancelled.
Try again.
I had to break the news to her that the party was cancelled.
Okay. Is it news or news?
Is a news.
That's right. Try
Is
again.
a news. I had to break the news to her that the party was cancelled.
Okay. All right. All right. So that's break the news, which means give someone bad news. Share some bad news for the first time with someone. Give someone the bad news. Now, let's move on to our next